I spent the last few months rewatching every single Cartoon Network show, and it took way longer than I thought. But I concluded that Cartoon Network has a total of 29 villains, and I'm gonna be ranking them from worst to best. Also, I want to preface this by saying that I'm only gonna be ranking villains that are integral to the story. So for instance, in the case of Adventure Time, I'll be ranking Ice King, Golb, and the Lich. And I'm not gonna be ranking any unimportant villains like Ricardio. Also, quick spoiler warning for pretty much every Cartoon Network show, but you probably don't care.
We do not care.
So let's start off the ranking with the absolute worst Cartoon Network villain. Let's go. In last place, at number 29, we have Broccoli from the High Fructose Adventures of the Annoying Orange. Even though the Annoying Orange can be pretty annoying. What if the show might actually be good? What if they broke the cycle and made an absolute masterpiece?
Now let's make a veggie stir fry!
Like I said, masterpiece. Despite the amazing reviews, they decided to bury the show after just one season. But the villain might be even worse than the show. The villain is this alien broccoli that wants to wipe out the entire race of fruit.
That's the fruit!
And as I've learned in history class, trying to wipe out an entire race is not nice. And the way he wants to do it is by turning vegetables into zombies, who will then eat the fruits. And his plan seemed to be working until Orange found out that he could defeat the zombies by just laughing. And the Oscar for Best Writing goes to The Annoying Orange. So yeah, it's an awful show with an even worse villain.
Like a solid 1 out of 10.
They should have just stuck with Broccoli Obama. At least he gives some good broccoli representation. At number 28, we have the red guy from Cow and Chicken. He's pretty much just an evil guy doing evil things. Like how he, for instance, tried to turn chicken into his next lunch. Or like how he was hitting on Cow, which made me feel very uncomfortable.
Ooh, oh, you know it, baby. Ooh, let me have it. Let me have it.
Wait, how old even is Cow? Alright, welcome everyone to Groomer or No Groomer. Today we have 30 to 40-year-old red guy who was flirting with Cow. And now is of course the question, how old is Cow? Survey says 7. Yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. This is done. No, I'm not doing it. Why are so many of these villains just straight up groomers? Alright, red guy, let's get you into the groomer rehabilitation facility.
That's what the—
Now all of you, watch and learn. I'll have you sorted out in no time. At number 27, we have Bling Bling Boy from Johnny Test. Bling Bling Boy's only goal in life is to get married to Johnny's sister Susan, and he is quite the charmer.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
Despite his amazing charms and diamond-plated teeth, Susan is never interested. I think someone needs to tell this young man that this isn't how a girl's going to like him. All you simply have to do is buy my Alpha Male Dating Tips course, 100% success rate for the low price of $6,000. There's honestly not that much more to him, he's just a creepy simp. Also, for some reason his hands make a whip sound whenever they move, which is pretty much the case for any character in this show, but I feel like they do it even more with him.
Because, Jonathan, you stole our stuff! Where's my mega grabbing gloves? And the bling blimp? You totally ruined my gas-filled surprise for Susan!
At number 26, we have Jinky Minus from Courage the Cowardly Dog. He's not really a villain and he's only in the show for like 10 seconds, but he traumatized so many kids that I feel like he deserves a spot on this list. I, however, have not seen him yet, personally. So gamers, let's take a look what this villain is about.
You're not perfect.
One time in biology class, my teacher showed us how a C-section is done. This was worse. This was so much worse. At number 25, we have Nurgle from The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Nurgle is a devil-type guy that lives in the center of the earth. But Nurgle is kind of lonely. And that's why his main goal in the show is just to have some friends.
Friends, friends, friends. Now, what shall we play first? Oh, I know.
We gotta get out of here.
He's not that evil, except that his way of making friends is kidnapping them and then abusing them. And as I've learned the hard way, that is illegal. But when Billy and Mandy escape, he doesn't think to himself, maybe I should be a better friend. No, the next thing he does is possess them. Like, dude, if you want to make friends, why treat them this badly? I would never treat my friends badly. Right, dude? Hush, my precious. All I need is one of your kidneys. At number 24, we have Cats from Courage the Cowardly Dog. Cats is Courage's biggest hater. He hates Courage more than I hate Jack Doherty.
Oh, Guardian!
I do love how his voice is very menacing, because not only is it always calm and slow, but also British, so you know he's evil.
Oh, and by the way, your web is such a mess. Clean it up, will you?
Vegan sausage rolls.
And he's also a bit of a sadist, since he turns Courage's owners into a washing machine and a wrecking ball. And then he makes them fight against each other, which if you ask me, isn't a fair fight. I also love how randomly creepy this guy can get.
A little sport before dying, dear boy.
That's so crazy. Wanna play one more game before you die? Who does bro think he is? Jigsaw? At number 23, we have Agent Trout from We Bare Bears. The show itself doesn't really have a main villain, but the movie does. The movie starts off with the bears causing a lot of trouble, and a lot of people got pretty mad about that.
We're angry!
We're angry at you!
So they wanted to do something to make up for it. So they decided to bake cupcakes for everyone.
Psych!
Just kidding, they hacked everyone's devices and live streamed themselves Fortnite dancing. Together with a bunch of other dead memes like bottle flipping and PPAP. And as if that wasn't already bad enough, something went wrong and they shut down the power to the entire city, which probably isn't healthy to people who are on life support. People for some reason got very mad at this and they hired a guy to arrest them. And that guy is Agent Trout. However, the bears escape and they try fleeing to Canada, which I think more people are considering at the moment. They almost caught the bears, but then they were stopped by Crab Rave and Elephant Bob Ross.
I can't draw a straight line.
Anyway, he eventually catches them and separates them. And then we get the question, why does he do it?
Why are you doing this to us? We never did anything to you.
Why shouldn't I? Humans have been nature's dominant predator since the beginning of time. And this is the closest I will ever get to hunting you.
Bro just likes the chase. What a freak.
You're weird!
Anyway, the bears end up winning because of the power of friendship or whatever. And the movie also has this other character for a potential villain. He's this koala called Nom Nom, but he's more so just a douchebag YouTuber. Like Jack Doherty.
Oh, Guardian!
At number 22, we have Chris McLean from Total Drama Island. You might be thinking, Jesse, he's just the show host. He's not evil. Oh, this man's evil, alright.
Daddy, chill.
He starts off pretty innocent, but as the show goes on, he gets more and more unhinged, and he commits a bunch of crimes. Like for instance, mass murder, manslaughter, vandalism, abuse of power, psychological abuse, assault and battery, reckless endangerment, poisoning, torture, pollution, blackmail, animal cruelty, fraud, unethical experimentation, voyeurism, slavery, stalking, poaching, sabotage, terrorism, hate crimes, corruption, and being thirsty for Ryan Reynolds? Buddy, if that's a crime, then lock me up! But with crimes like these, it's not weird that they eventually threw him in jail. And I think that the voice actor also went a bit insane, since he too got thrown in jail. Talk about method acting. Thank you, thank you. Ladies, please, calm down. So even though he committed almost the same number of crimes as me, he's still pretty mild when it comes to his villainy. Wow, that rhymed really nicely. I'm like literally Shakespeare. To goon or not to not? No, I need to go outside. At number 21, we have Father from Codename Kids Next Door. Father is a hothead that wants to take over the world and make an end to the kids next door.
Wow, that just tastes of burnt charcoal.
My guy just wants to eviscerate some kids. You and me both, Father. You and me both. He's a pretty funny villain with very over-the-top plans, like building a giant ice cream cake in space, so there wouldn't be any ice cream left on Earth for the kids to enjoy. It never really worked out for him though. I also find it funny that on his wiki page under weaknesses, it says that he hates broccoli and was once defeated after being threatened with it. Like, what would that even look like? Greetings, I am Father and I'm gonna do something very evil. Is that so? Well, maybe you could take a look at what I got here. No, not the broccoli, Obama. Yeah, what are you gonna do, huh? Oh, alright, I will stop my evil plan. Yeah, that's what I thought. But what if I just... No, please! Have mercy. Here's your mercy. At number 20, we have King Xavier from Craig of the Creek. Xavier is this rich kid that became King of the Creek.
You think you're the king?
By handing out candy to other kids in exchange for their loyalty. And so you see that for the right amount of candy, any child can be bought. Right, kids? Despite him being a kid and all, I can still see him as a serious threat, because the other kids are very scared of him. But then one time, Craig challenged him to a game of Capture the Flag, and he lost. Knockout! Because of this, he was dethroned as king and fell into a depression, where he didn't really do much else other than comment on a bunch of stuff on Twitter. But eventually, he came around and found out that you don't need to buy friends if you're just a nice guy. Aww. Which is, of course, pure propaganda. Because there is no way you can get friends without my course. Use promo code PRAISETHECHEESE for 2% off. At number 19, we have Mandark from Dexter's Laboratory. I think Mandark's character is best shown in the Dexter's Laboratory movie. In the movie, Dexter goes to the future and discovers that Mandark took over the entire world. And also that he gave future Dexter one of the scariest things known to man. And sometimes for fun, he would strap Dexter down, turn on the cameras, and whip him for the entire world to see. That's evil. That's fucking evil. This is a kid's movie, by the way. Then Dexter and Dexter jump through time some more, and they eventually meet the other versions of Mandark. Look, even the Discord moderator version of Mandark is here.
Oh no, not the server!
And they fight it out. But the Dexters win, and they turn back time to normal. I thought he was a pretty decent villain, but I didn't think much of him. Until I took a little bit of a closer look. Something felt off. Like I've seen him somewhere before. And I think I have a theory. No, it's not that deep. I just think he looks a lot like Mr. Croker from Fairly Odd Parents. You know, I think it's a good theory, but I don't know. I just wish I had earbuds with 36 hours of battery and a lightweight open-air design that brings pressure-free all-day comfort. Oh wait, I do. Raycon earbuds to be precise. And coincidentally, Raycon is also the sponsor for today's video. If you, just like me, just love to turn on noise cancellation and drown out all the sound from the outside, this is the earbud for you. Sir, if you're not gonna order anything, please get out of the line. Sir? Sir? I also wore them while editing this video. And if you don't want to take it from me, take it from Raycon's 3 million other happy customers. Like John, for instance. Look at how happy John is. He's so happy. Or John's sister, John. She's so happy. They did not have creative parents. And I just know you'll be happy too, because Raycon offers a 30-day happiness guarantee. Raycon's going all out for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, so everything's up to 30% off side-wide. Just click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/JesseJokesOpen to save on Raycon audio products side-wide. Thank you, Raycon, for sponsoring this video. At number 18, we have Mojo Jojo from the Powerpuff Girls. In the Powerpuff Girls movie, we see that Mojo was once a normal lab monkey, and also that he was the one who caused the professor to spill chemical X into the concoction, which of course created the Powerpuff Girls, but it's also what turned Mojo into a genius monkey. However, he also became evil monkey. So besides spinning and swimming, he also wants to take over the world. So he gains the trust of the Powerpuff Girls by saving them, and then he tricks them into building his giant machine, which he did really well. I applaud you, sir, for your outstanding gaslighting.
Remember, it was your idea.
He would later use that machine to make a ton of other smart and evil apes, and he wants to use them to basically make a planet of the apes. But then when he wants to take control, all the other monkeys just don't listen to the guy. So his new plan is basically just to turn himself into King Kong, because why not? Of course, he gets defeated in the movie and a bunch of times in the show as well. But he always gets back up, because you never back down. Never. Boo, that meme is way too old. Oh, hey there, little one. You got something to say? Yeah, I was just saying this meme is like really old, and you see, that's funny, because how can you speak if you have no mouth? It seems like you forgot that you're in my world. I can make you taller, I can make you shorter, I can turn you into a couch. Do not test me! At number 17, we have Black Hat from Villainous. Black Hat is the boss of the Black Hat organization, which is an organization that takes care of superheroes. Even though he's very powerful, he doesn't really do much himself. He mostly just sends his workers to take care of business, like a true capitalist. Despite him having cool powers, the only time he really uses his powers is to cause other people suffering to entertain himself. Or of course to scare his employees. But we never really get to see a fight scene with him, which I feel like is a missed opportunity. He also kind of reminds me of Alistair, but I feel like Black Hat lacks a certain charm. The kind of charm Bling Bling Boy has.
What is love?
Black Hat has high potential, but just isn't quite there yet. He just has to follow his dreams and reach that potential that he is so destined to reach. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Also, there was this one episode with a muscular clone of him that was voiced by Markiplier for some reason.
If you're coming right now, let me see it. Let me see it. Show me.
I don't mind it though.
Try not to faint from looking at my evil, awesome body.
I want to take a shower with him. No, I mean...
At number 16, we have Professor Venomous from OKKO. Professor Venomous used to be a hero, but he wanted more power. So he started experimenting.
Let's play Pink Panther.
But one day, as he was clearing out his laboratory, he dropped something that took away his powers. He tried everything to get his powers back, but nothing worked. And it also turned him purple. So he decided to turn towards the one thing that has never let him down. Capitalism! And he started selling his organs. And he started selling his inventions to other villains.
I got two swing blocks, turn you to a dancer.
But his main goal was to destroy the heroes from the plaza, which included his own son. He opens up more to him later in the show, but at the beginning, he really fucking hates him. And you know what they say, if you don't like your child, just get a new one. What's 17 more years? So he created a minion called Fink and treats her like a daughter, doing things like comforting her and keeping tabs on her. Wait a minute. Goon Museum? That's a weird museum. Why would anyone go there? Can someone give me the address so I don't accidentally go there? Because I really do not want to go there. At number 15, we have Anti-Pops from Regular Show. Anti-Pops only showed up in the last season of Regular Show. I feel like he was kind of made as a plot device to end the show. Regardless, in terms of being evil and threatening, he really hit the mark. I mean, he is a yelper for fuck's sake. That's like one of the most evil things out there. Alright, now let me drop some lore. Pops and Anti-Pops were both born at the same time and place. Pops is a being of pure good, while Anti-Pops is a being of pure evil. And they would fight every 14 billion years. But it always resulted in a draw that would reset the universe. And then they would do it all over again. Like a constant cycle of destruction and rebirth. But Pops really wanted to save his friends this time. So he decided to sacrifice himself and take Anti-Pops with him. And I love how Anti-Pops accepts his faith and is actually sorry for the things that he did.
My God. All those one-star reviews. I wish I could take it all back.
You can try. You and I together, brother.
Dude, that's so sad. Let me play some harmonica music to honor them. At number 14, we have Ice King from Adventure Time. I wasn't sure whether to put Ice King on this list, because even though he is a bit of a mischievous fellow with him kidnapping princesses and all, the only reason why he did that is because he was cursed by the crown. Before he was cursed, he was just a normal guy named Simon. Simon was interested in ancient artifacts, and one day he found the crown. This crown was created by the ice elemental master named Evergreen a long time ago. It was created to stop a meteor that was coming for Earth. The crown was built to grant the deepest wish of the wearer. So all Evergreen had to do was put on the crown and wish for the destruction of the meteor. But the lab crumbled and Evergreen wasn't able to reach the crown. So he told Gunther to put on the crown instead. But Gunther's deepest wish was to become just like Evergreen, so he got ice powers instead.
Gunther, no! 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 Gunther!
Meaning that the meteor wasn't destroyed and it made impact. I don't blame you, Gunther. My deepest wish would also be too powerful. However, this did mean that the ice powers were embedded into the crown. So when Simon found it and put it on his head, he started to slowly gain ice powers. He also lost his sanity in the process.
My fries? I goonted them, and they were mine. What kind of goons is Gunther's fries? And doesn't even...
Because of this, he accidentally scared off his girlfriend Betty, someone that he desperately loved. So when we saw Ice King kidnapping princesses, it was just his confused mind trying to get Betty back. There's a lot more to Simon and Betty's story, so I recommend watching the show and finding it out for yourself. But all I can say is that Simon is a great character. But Ice King isn't really a crazy good villain. Funny, yes, but threatening, not so much.
You know, I kind of like being tied up in these cords. Kind of freaky. I just love my dog.
But I do feel like more people should take him as an example.
She's 13 years old now.
Oh, dang it. Well, I'm out of here. Goodbye, everyone.
You hear that, guys? 13 is too young. Why don't you guys write it down so you don't forget? Even me? Especially you, Dream. At number 13, we have him from the Powerpuff Girls. This dude's the devil. His real name isn't even him. He only got that nickname because his actual name is too scary. Him is a villain that uses psychological tactics in order to defeat his enemies. In this case, the Powerpuff Girls. I think his character is best shown in the episode Speed Demon. In the episode, the Powerpuff Girls do a race to see who can get home the quickest. But they flew so fast that they accidentally went forward in time. According to the theory of relativity. There they saw that the entire world was taken over by him. By who? No, not by who, by him. Who, me? No, not you, who, him. David?
Hello, I am David.
Do not test me! The entire world got taken over by him, and they were all blaming the Powerpuff Girls for not being there to save them.
Your fault. Your fault. Your fault.
They tried to beat him up, but he just kept laughing. Like it tickled or something.
Are you finished? Oh, hell no! Oh, hell no!
What an absolute menace. Eventually, the Powerpuff Girls do return back to the present, but him definitely traumatized them for life. At number 12, we have Trigon from Teen Titans. Alright, so there are two versions of Trigon. We have the Teen Titans and the Teen Titans Go version. One is literally the devil, and the other one is a deadbeat dad that's sometimes annoying. So I'll be looking at Trigon from Teen Titans. Even though the Teen Titans Go Trigon is canonically stronger, I think. Given by the fact that he just swallows the other Trigon whole in the Teen Titans Go movie.
That's crazy.
Seems like he's a bit full of himself. I'm on a roll today, people. He wants to take over the universe, but he's kind of trapped in hell. And he needs Raven to open a portal for him so he can dip to Earth. So he hires Slade to kidnap Raven in exchange for his real body, because Slade's also in hell. So Slade delivers Raven, but Trigon double crosses him and doesn't give him his body back.
And scammer gets scammed, buddy.
I mean, he's kind of the devil, so what did you expect? And when Trigon gets to Earth, the Titans attack him. But he just doesn't care, and he hits them with the old... insignificant insects. He does lose some points for me at the end because he was giving this whole lecture to Raven about how she's only alive because he allows it and that he's way stronger than her. But then Raven absolutely disintegrates the guy without even breaking a sweat. So Trigon, sometimes you just gotta sit down and be humble.
Yeah.
At number 11, we have Rob from The Amazing World of Gumball. At first, Rob was just a meaningless side character that showed up every once in a while. However, one day he runs into Gumball and Darwin, but they forgot his name.
Rich? Did you just call me Rich like it was a question?
Ha! Did I say Rich? I'm sorry, dude. I meant your name.
Which is...
And that's the exact reason why I never say someone's name if I'm not at least 100% sure. Because if you do call someone by the wrong name, you just might create a monster. Or it just gets kind of awkward. After that, he was sent to the place of the world's mistakes. Because no one really cared about the guy. But he eventually escaped by clinging on to Mr. Small's van. Though it did leave him somewhat corrupted. And that was the beginning of his villain arc. And he was pretty good at the whole villain thing. He was funny, but he was still threatening. But then after that, he got a little more serious and tried to delete Gumball. Despite that, the show ended with him being somewhat of a good guy. Maybe. I don't know for sure though. I watched the new season, but I didn't catch a single glimpse of the guy. But there are still some episodes that haven't released yet, and apparently he's gonna make an appearance in the very last one. But until that fatal day arrives, this is all you're gonna get, Rob. You get number 11. You get nothing. You get nothing. Nothing? I have nothing! At number 10, we have the Diamonds from Steven Universe. All the Diamonds were villains in their own way, but the one that's probably the least villainous is Pink Diamond, because she had more noble goals, like saving the Earth. But she still committed her fair share of war crimes. And honestly, I don't blame her, because like a wise man once said, life is not life without a little bit of war crime. Blue and Yellow were also pretty evil, but the real big bad of the show was White Diamond, because White was the one who came up with the dictator regime that all the gems had to follow. And when we saw her for the first time towards the end of the show, she really came off as a cold-hearted cynic. And she even took control of all the gems' bodies that were there, which was very creepy.
Oh, thank you. How generous of you. Thank you, White Diamond. We feel so much better now. I feel excellent.
But then when Steven wouldn't turn back into Pink Diamond because he literally couldn't, she threw a temper tantrum.
You are not half human. You're just acting like a child.
I am a child. What's your excuse?
And Steven basically just told her, murder is not nice.
What you did was not nice! It's not nice to do that!
And then she did a full 180 and suddenly became a good person. And I just find it really hard to believe that a being who has been doing the same thing for billions of years is able to change her mind within a couple of minutes. It made me laugh. But also kinda annoyed me at the same time. At number 9, we have Spinel from Steven Universe. Spinel is one of those villains that's only evil because of something traumatic that happened to them. In the beginning, Spinel was an entertainer for Pink Diamond in a place called the Garden. But Pink slowly grew tired of Spinel. So when Pink wanted to leave the Garden permanently to go live on Earth, she didn't want Spinel to go with her. So Pink proposed a game where Spinel had to stand still until she returned. And Spinel was of course happy to play. So she waited and she waited. For 6,000 years because Pink never returned. Wow, that's actually really evil. But then eventually she received a message from Steven where he basically told her that Pink was dead. She was absolutely destroyed by this news and devoted her life to killing anything that Pink held dear. Like for instance, the entire Earth. So she went down to Earth with an injector and sang one of the best songs of the entire show. I can still remember when my family and I drove to Switzerland, which took like 13 hours, and I listened to this song for the entirety of those 13 hours. Anyway, Steven and Spinel had a little therapy session in the sky, and Spinel became her happy old self again. It was all just a little crash out. No biggie. At number 8, we have Golb from Adventure Time. Golb is the god of chaos, and he's easily the most powerful villain on this list. Golb doesn't really have a motive, nor does he make evil plans. He's just Golb. Just a red dude that floats in the void. Though he can get a little freaky sometimes. Even though he usually floats in the void, he does sometimes show up to places. Supposedly when there is someone messing with the timeline or the natural order of things, I'm not really 100% sure. But he can also get summoned, like Betty did near the end of the show. And when he does show up, he creates complete and utter chaos. Like an army of toddlers in a nursing home. He also sometimes eats people. And when he does, the people get turned into their original form.
I'm in the thick.
So when Golb ate Finn, Simon, and Betty, they got turned into their old selves, but also did the crown, which was also there, by the way. So when Finn and Simon escaped through a hole in Golb, which was created by music, probably the new Playboy Kari album, Betty proceeded to put on the crown and make a wish.
I wish for Golb to disappear. I wish for Golb to disappear! No! He's too strong! Even for the crown. I wish for the power to keep Simon safe.
So she merged with Golb, creating Golb Betty. And then they left. Back to the void it is, with all of the Tetris pieces. At number 7, we have the Scarab from Fiona and Cake. I know that Fiona and Cake isn't technically a Cartoon Network show, but it's based off of a Cartoon Network show, and it's also my video, so what are you gonna do about it? So the Scarab is a god auditor, which means that he imprisons gods who aren't following the rules. Like for instance, Prismo, who created the universe of Fiona and Cake without permission. And he hid it away in the head of Simon, aka Iced KNG, aka Ice King.
Sure, Magic Flashlight, you can put anything you want in there. Especially if it's got a hot lady.
Now it was the Scarab's job to hunt down Fiona, Cake, and Simon and make sure that their universe didn't exist anymore. And he is constantly chasing them, but anytime he gets close, they escape at the last second. And it took him so long that his manager was fed up and wanted to punish him.
It is my deepest hope that you will simply let me finish my job.
Nice speech. Say goodbye to your legs.
But then the boss called, and he told him to keep searching. And when he eventually finds them, he starts erasing their universe. Hey. But then their universe gets approved, and his boss calls him off. But he made it personal.
I'm gonna tear down Prismo's precious sandcastle with my bare hands!
But it doesn't last long before they put him in an egg. He was a very threatening villain and pretty clever too. But he was also a bit of a nerd. Like he trapped the baby in an egg only because he was playing games on his work computer.
The baby!
Scarab! All I was doing was playing games on my work PC, and you put me in a flippin' egg?
I'm so sorry about this. I couldn't stop myself. I feel very ashamed. At number 6, we have Aku from Samurai Jack. Aku is another one of those villains that's just pure evil. Even his name literally means evil in Japanese. At first he was some sort of black swamp feasting on the earth, but then he merged with a flaming arrow, creating Aku.
Did I jump scare you?
An army tried to defeat him, but normal weapons don't really work against Aku, so he just absolutely wiped them out.
Nice shot, nice shot.
But Jack had a sword that was forged by the gods. Like me. This sword could actually be used to hurt Aku. So Jack tried to defeat him, but Aku quickly sent him into the future. And now with Jack out of the way, he became the dictator of the universe. And he was relentless. Anytime someone so much as glanced at the guy, he would relinquish them. But eventually, he meets Jack again, and they fight. But Aku just keeps escaping to the point where he's kind of sick of it.
Well, you see, Doc, it's been over 50 years already.
But then, in the final battle, Aku gets the upper hand, and he kills Jack. Just kidding, this guy has the, most insane plot armor ever. How? Eventually, Jack went back in time to defeat Aku.
You're back already?
Great villain, funny villain, but he just didn't make my top 5. Speaking of top 5... At number 5, we have the conductor from Infinity Train. When the main character Tulip got teleported onto the Infinity Train, she wanted to leave almost immediately. And she thought that in order to leave, she would have to find the conductor. And eventually, she does. And she finds out that the conductor is a big robot. Dare I even say, a clanker. Yeah, I said it. Do something about it.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
It's a robot that has control over the train, and it doesn't like people getting in its way. It's a relentless, cold-hearted machine that stops at nothing to achieve its goal.
You will cease your journey.
Why should I listen to you?
Because I am the conductor.
But later we find out that it's actually not a robot, but a woman named Amelia. She lost her husband and tried to recreate him and her old life on the train. However, it never worked and she only created a bunch of chaos. But then after she gets defeated, she goes on a redemption arc and tries to fix her mistakes. But that doesn't change the fact that she was a really good villain when she was one.
No!
Oh my, no dog and no parents.
Also, if you haven't seen this show yet, what's wrong with you? This is one of the best shows I've ever seen. So you are either going to watch this or perish. At number 4, we have Slade from Teen Titans. Just like Trigon, there are 2 versions of Slade. One is a brutal freak of nature that psychologically breaks people, and the other one is a pretty chill guy that sometimes does magic tricks.
But how can you even begin to explain this? Cheers, Lord, strolling on their noble way. Dead crows sniffing at your nose.
Oh, and he's also voiced by BoJack Horseman.
So the thing I keep thinking about is...
And just like Trigon, we're just gonna stick with the OG. In the show, Slade is an absolute menace. And I mean it, like one time he was beating up Robin and Robin fell off the building. But Slade saved him just so he could continue beating the ever-living shit out of him. He doesn't even have superpowers himself. Usually he manipulates someone like Terra to make them hate the Titans.
But my friends told me
You don't really believe they're your friends, do you, Terra?
They took me in, gave me a home.
And when they find out what's wrong with you, they'll reject you, like everyone else.
And Terra even gave Slade control over her full body, so he could use her powers to fight against the Titans. Though eventually, she breaks free and kills Slade.
Amazing!
And because Slade died, he went to hell, where of course Trigon hired him to kidnap Raven. And he got scammed for it. But what I didn't mention was that this dude just takes matters into his own hands. Because he got his body back by killing the guard that was protecting it. And then he went back to Earth and cut off one of Trigon's horns. Just a reminder that he doesn't even have any powers. And yet he still had the balls to go up against a demon overlord.
Do you really want to spend your last day on Earth fighting?
I don't even know what to say. Peak villain. At number 3, with the bronze medal, we have the Beast from Over the Garden Wall. Soul was never in the lantern in the first place. It was always the Beast's soul, so the Beast alive. When the woodsman realizes this, the Beast tries to persuade him one last time. Oh man, this show, it's so good. I just love the way the Beast manipulates people into getting what he wants for one frame. Holy shit. At number 2, with the silver medal, we have the Lich from Adventure Time. Remember the meteor that Gunther was supposed to stop? Well, there was actually something inside the meteor. A creature so unspeakably evil that its only goal was to extinguish all life in the universe. A being that went by the name of Mr. Breast. No, wait, that's not right. The Lich, it's the Lich, guys. The Lich is an absolutely terrifying creature. From his design to his voice, he's also really powerful, to the point where he can paralyze people by just saying a word.
Cease.
Fall.
Still, the legendary Billy defeated the Lich. He did eventually escape again. And then he tricked Finn into getting him to Prismo's cube, where he made the wish to go to a universe where everyone's dead. And in Fiona and Cake, we actually see this universe. I don't know for sure if it's the exact same universe, but it is a universe where the Lich achieved his mission of killing all life. But he just became really sad and lonely. Let that be a lesson, kids. Never achieve your goals, because when you do, there will be nothing left. The reason he killed all life in the first place was because he thought that that was what Golb wanted. But Golb didn't really care, and just very brutally turned him into a Tetris piece. The Lich appears a lot more in the show, and every time he's just as menacing. Great villain, but there's one villain that I find even greater. At number 1, with the golden medal, and in my opinion, the best Cartoon Network villain, Simon from Infinity Train. A lot of you guys might be thinking, him at number 1? Who even is this guy? Hear me out, because this guy's story is about to blow your socks up. Simon together with Grace are the leaders of a group of wild kids called the Apex. On the train, they go from car to car, mostly to kill NPCs, because in their minds, the NPCs on the train only exist for their entertainment. I'm getting PTSD flashbacks. But eventually, Simon and Grace get stuck in one of the train cars, and there they find a monkey NPC called Tuba and a kid named Hazel. At first, their plan was to take Hazel and return back to the Apex, but Hazel was pretty attached to Tuba, so Tuba came along with them. Simon and Grace were constantly trying to separate Hazel and Tuba because they didn't want a filthy NPC in the Apex. But as they traveled, Grace started to like Tuba, and she became a little more open-minded towards NPCs. And it seemed like Simon started to open up to Tuba as well. Like they were laughing, having a good time. It was beautiful. However, Simon's mind wasn't really changed.
But you're no person.
When I saw this for the first time, I was left speechless. And what's even crazier is that he goes up to Hazel and tells her with a smile on his face that he killed her best friend, like a true psychopath. Also, later it's revealed that Hazel wasn't human at all, but rather an NPC who could transform. And Simon immediately went from caring about her to seeing her as just another NPC he needed to get rid of. But Grace wanted to protect Hazel, and she actually already knew about her being an NPC. But she didn't tell Simon because she was scared that Simon would kill her.
We just won't tell Simon, okay? He doesn't need to know.
Simon found out about this by scanning Grace's mind, and he felt so extremely betrayed that he trapped Grace in her own mind. You kind of start to empathize with the guy in a way. Though eventually, Grace breaks free, and when she returns back to the Apex, she finds Simon, who crowned himself as the only leader of the Apex.
You think you're—
And the first thing he does when he sees Grace is try to kill her. They fight it out on the bridge between the cars. Simon loses and falls off the train, but then Grace catches him. Grace didn't want Simon to die. In this moment, Simon realizes that he messed up, and he apologizes to Grace. What the fuck? What the fuck? This is crazy. This is insane. Oh, thankfully, Grace ended up being rescued by some NPCs. But Simon, he got killed by one of the train's soul-sucking cockroaches. And I've heard it's an awful way to go.
Yo guys, it's me, Charlie. Hey, did that guy just turn into sand?
The thing about Simon that I love is that he's just a human. He's not a devil. He's not a being of pure evil. He's just a guy. A psychopathic one for sure, but he's still a guy. And Simon perfectly illustrates someone who is so unwilling to change that they end up miserable. And eventually someone who dies with that misery. Oh, hey guys, sorry for being gone for, a year. The reason is school, but I have graduated now. Yippee! I want to thank all the people that helped me make this video. You can check them out in the description. And we're going to be cooking up some more of these beautiful rankings. And these ones are not going to take a full year. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, you.